Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Okay, if you're done here, then make a line like this.
Please unmute or mute yourselves, guys, so that there is no any kind of disturbance. All right, so we can get started now. 1 second. All right. Who wants to say what had happened last week? Just maybe a few sentences and give turns for others too, so we can just take turns and get going. Okay. Who wants to start off? What happened last week? Okay, Shiva, go ahead, dear. I'm not able to hear you. Are you talking? I can't hear Shiva. Not able to talk. Okay.
His microphone is too low.
Yeah, sure. Govind, go ahead, dear.
Wait, what? What you said?
What happened last week?
Oh, what we learned about last week? Like, I forgot.
Okay, Mihika, go ahead.
Mataji, I wasn't here last time.
Oh, you weren't here last week. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, so I will narrate then. If you can't say, I will just say, okay? Can you all, Varun, do you know something? Varun?
Last class?
Yeah, last class.
Can you give a starter?
Yeah, I mean, so now Bharata, I mean, it was just something with Bharata, right?
I know, Mataji, I go with another.
Go ahead.
What they said, what Bharata was like, he was when Kaikai was telling to
so
Bharata.
Remember, now, see, Bharata is going to go on a road. I mean, go and meet Ram in the forest. Yeah. And the forest was all completely, I mean, they put pathways for the forest. They kind of did a lot of, they planted some beautiful shrubs and everything to make it look good. And then Bharata wanted to make sure that on the way, he was going to meet, on the way when he was planning to meet Rama, there should be kind of no disturbance, right? And he wanted to make sure that there was adequate pathway. And this was going to be taken care of. And he said, Kaikeyi, I mean, you are thinking, actually Ram is going to is in the forest, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Ram back from the forest and I'm going to go in turn to the forest. This is what I will be doing. And this is what Bharata actually told Kaikeyi. And Kaikeyi was, of course, very disappointed because she was not actually going in plan with what, she was not going in plan with what she anticipated, that her son would feel good because he has got the kingdom. And Vashishta said, okay, let's make arrangement for Bharata as soon as possible without any kind of delay for him to become the king of Ayodhya. And then Bharata said, hold off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to now bring Ram from the forest and I'm going to make him the king. Let's just wait till then. So this is what Bharata actually told. And Bharata actually told Vashishta. And remember, there was also an incident with Kaushalya, right? What happened with Kaushalya? So Bharata and Kausalya happened to see each other, and Kausalya happened to say, are you happy now? Are you feeling good that your brother Ram is in the forest and you're going to become the king? today. Are you happy about that fact? Is everything going according to your plan? When she said that, Bharata actually felt very bad. And he said, this is not what I intended. Whoever is intended this, they are going to get sinful reactions for it. And no way I am responsible for this. And please, mother, don't think me to be bad like that. I did not, of course, have that idea at all in my mind. Whoever is having that idea, they are going to accumulate sins of killing a Brahmana, killing a cow, killing a wife, and so on and so forth. So this is what they would get. And when she heard the statement from Bharata, she knew, okay, Bharata did not actually make Ram go to the forest. It was due to Mantra's influence. Kaikeyi was poisoned, because of which he happened to go to the forest. I remember that point. And then there was also a point about Shatrughna, right? Shatrughna, he was about to go and kill Mantra. And Bharata said, no, don't do that. Even I could have killed Kaikeyi and Mantra, but I did not do it because Ram would not like it. We have to please. Whatever is pleasing for Ram, that is what we need to do. And this is absolutely, we should not even touch a woman. And the touching a woman is itself a bad idea. So we should refrain from doing any harm to a woman. And this is what Ram will like. Do you all remember that? Are you able to follow whatever I said? Are you able to recollect whatever we have learned so far? Yes? Okay, now I will see what happened. So Mantra was dragged. Remember, she was dragged on the ground. Her ornaments. Yeah.
She was dragged onto the ground, and then Shatrughna, he was dragging her, and then and Bharata, he was like, oh no, you cannot do that. And like doing that to a woman is like very, very sinful. I could have like even killed Mantra, but I did not, because Rama would not be proud.
Correct. Rama would not like it. So whatever doesn't please the Lord, we should never do that. And we should refrain from doing that. So this is what we need to understand from the story. And then so now we know that all preparations are made for Bharat to become the king, but he now postponed the idea by saying that he's going to go to the forest now. So now what happened? Everyone was pleased to hear Bharata's determination, right? Upon receiving their approval, Bharata also felt great relief and shed tears of joy because he was going to go and meet Ram in the forest. Mihika, the page number is 142, dear. Okay, as news of Bharata desires spread.
Is it in Balakund?
It is Ayodhya Kanda, okay? As the news of Bharata's desire spread, everyone became joyful. Because everyone wanted Ram to come back, right? So they all became joyful. Thereafter, the minister summoned many engineers and laborers. Soon, a huge group left the city to construct a board of highway to the forest. They are now making some arrangements to make some roads to the forest. First, the workers cut down the trees, dug up the roots, leveled the ground, and filled all the holes. Then they built bridges across the streams, and after paving the highway with concrete mixed with lime, they lined the road with flowering trees. Dams were constructed to create artificial lakes. When everything was completed, the entire highway, which extended from Ayodhya to the banks of Ganga, was sprinkled with sandalwood-scented water. So how much arrangements are made? See, dams were constructed, shrubs were taken up, the trees were leveled up, the roots were dug up, the bridges were built, and highway was made across the streams. Big tents were pitched at appropriate places because they need some rest, right? Whenever they are going to such a, it was not easy for them to commute. So they definitely need to take adequate rest. And for that, tents were also placed at appropriate places. And then the entire pathway appeared fit for use by the demigods and was completed in a very, very short period of time. See, this was also completed. There was no delay. Remember that, this was completed in a very, very short span of time. After the construction was completed, the citizens felt satisfied. The transforming effects of devotional service to the Lord are truly, truly wonderful. Although previously people were dejected because of separation from Ram, I'm sorry, I was on mute. Okay, after the construction
what
was...
did you say? We couldn't hear you.
Yeah, after what happened was, after the construction...
Yes,
Can you hear me?
we could hear you.
Okay. So now, the transforming effects of devotional service to the Lord are truly wonderful. Although previously the people were dejected because of separation from Ram, people were, they felt relief because now they felt that they are going to serve Lord Ram. And there was no difference between serving the Lord and seeing the Lord, right? So some people only have the fortune of seeing the Lord. Not everyone have the fortune of seeing the Lord. And who's those fortunate people? The people of Ayodhya are fortunate because they are able to see the Lord. And seeing is no different from serving. But of course, the mood of seeing is very important because we have Ravana also who saw the Lord. It was not as effective as somebody else seeing the Lord, right? For example, Hanuman seeing Lord Ram, that had a greater impact than Ravana seeing Lord Ram. So we need to have the mood of, the eyes should be anointed with the love of prema. And then, indeed, serving him is the proper way to approach him. So serving is the only way we can properly approach him. Rather than trying to see the Lord directly, we should serve him so sincerely that he will want to see us. Can you all understand this point, kids? So they are saying, so we should serve in such a way that Lord should actually want us to, Lord should actually want us to see him. I mean, he should want us, I mean, in the sense, he should be actually craving to see us. So that much service we should be doing. Then he will be so pleased that he wants to see, okay, Varun or Mihika or Nihal, Manhar. So you all should perform the service so much. Keshav, we have so many people here, right? So whenever service opportunities come to you, you should just take it up and do it so nicely and serve the Lord so nicely that he wants to actually see you. Okay. Are you all able to understand? Okay. This point is very, very important. I will ask you in question and answer session. Why? What is the question will be, how does the Lord want to actually see a devotee, right? That will be the question for you. So we should serve in such a way that the Lord should be very pleased with your service and would want to see you as soon as possible. So that must be the mood of service. This is a learning lesson. Okay, the next morning, what happened? Bharata ordered Sumantra to bring his chariot and then departed with this huge army. He is now departed. The entire party led by Bharata consists of 60,000 chariots driven by charioteers completely devoted to Rama, 100,000 cavalrymen, and 9,000 elephants decorated like lotuses. Can you see the count? Amazing count. 100,000 men and the 9,000 elephants. Okay, these are all huge numbers. Kausalya, Sumitra, and Kaikeyi also came riding in the chariot, hoping to bring Rama back from the forest. Who all went? Along with the charioteers, along with the elephants, we also see that Kaikeyi, Sumitra, and Kausalya, they also went to the forest. Many other citizens also accompanied Bharata, being delighted at prospect of seeing Rama. Yes, Mihika.
So I'm a bit confused because Kaikai
she wanted Bharata like to come back, not Ram. So like she didn't want Ram to come back. So why is it said that she also hoped that Ram would come back?
Now her mind is changed. After association with a devotee like Bharata, her mind has changed. When she knew that her son was not happy about the fact that she happened to send Ram to the forest, looking at her unhappiness of her son, she felt that she did something wrong. And that is why she wants to make her say, because parents, they always want to see the children happy, right? When children are not happy, they will do some other alternative to make them happy, right? Somehow she thought that Bharata will become happy upon her plan of making him the king. But when Bharata actually, he felt so bad that her mother has did something really bad for him, and Ram has been sent to the forest, that is more bringing him more unhappiness than anything in this world. Now she also changed her mind. Okay. Anyways, good point. Many other citizens also accompanied Bharata, being delighted at the prospect of seeing Lord Ram. Everybody wanted to see Ram, so they thought this is a good opportunity, so let's all go. The citizens looked like denizens of heavenly planets. They wore their best clothes with garlands of fragrant flowers, and their bodies were smeared with sandalwood paste. You see, when you are going to see some person, you usually wear a nice appropriate dress, right? If it is, say, a temple event, you wear kurta. If it is say, for example, if you're going to attend a musical function, Western musical function, you have to wear your suit and all that. Be appropriate to a particular event you are attending. Wear appropriate clothes. You should not look odd amongst all of them. That is what is conveyed here. Here, the citizens were going to see the Lord. And that time we should not be false smelling and all that. So that is why sandalwood paste, everything was applied in their body, and fragrant flowers. They had the best clothes, because God will bless them. However you are, you be like that. So when we are going to the temple, we always go at our best show, because Lord is going to see us and he should feel happy about us, and he should bless us that we should be like this always. So that is why whenever we are being instructed to wear appropriate garments, this is the reason. Okay. See, Lord is going to see you. He's going to be happy if you're looking nice, if you're wearing some toned jeans and toned clothes and all that. I mean, why? Right? We should be appropriately dressed. And if Lord is going to look at you, we should be even more nicely dressed. The gopis of Vrindavan, they used to dress so nicely, just for Krishna, for pleasing Krishna, not for them looking at the mirror and admiring their beauty. They will not dress, but they will dress for Krishna's happiness. Likewise, when we go to temple, we should dress because Lord is seeing us. Okay, and we should look very nice and appropriate when Lord actually looks at us. That is the reason why we are doing it. Are you able to understand this point? This is also very important. Another question that I will be asking you. Okay. All right. The citizens look like denizens of heavenly planets. That is important. The chariots appeared like celestial aeroplanes, and elephants moved inexorably forward, like clouds driven by wind on a beautiful sunny day. When party arrived at the bank of Ganga, they stopped to spend the night. Bharata took the opportunity to offer oblations to Ganga water to his departed father. See, he thought about his father and he offered oblations to Ganga. Okay. And when Guha saw Bharata leading the army into the forest, he suspected that he is going to actually attack Ram. Oh my God, somebody with huge army, number of elephants, charioteers, chariot, everything is coming to attack Lord Ram. I have to now become alert. Let me become alert. Guha therefore warned his associates. See, we are all followers of Lord Ram and we must be prepared for the danger.
Who is Guha?
Guha, remember Guha? We saw in the earlier.
Oh yeah, he's the boatman who took Rama to the other side of Ganga. He's Rama's friend.
Yeah, he is Rama's friend, and here also he is helping. He is helping Ram, meaning Bharata is coming here with the army. That is what he was. Just looking at the army and set of people, he was so confused. Okay, so probably they are coming here to attack Lord Ram, and we are friends of Lord Ram, and we have to protect Lord Ram. So all of you all get ready, my dear friends. Like that, he called all his associates. And as a precaution, he let 100 soldiers guard each of the 500 boats. Then, if necessary, we can prevent Bharata from crossing the Ganga. That is what, see, they didn't want Bharata to cross the Ganga and go to the other side. So he was making all arrangements for that. Taking many gifts with him, Guha went to meet Bharata, hoping to ascertain his true mentality. See, he wanted to first gauge, okay, what is this Bharata planning to do? So he went with lot of gifts. When Sumantara saw Guha was approaching, he informed Bharata that the Nishada king was a friend of Ram. When Guha arrived, Bharata extended all his hospitality. Look at his treatment, and inquired of the route to Bharadwaja's ashrama. Guha, you can rest assured. Guha said, you can rest assured, I shall guide you there, so you won't experience even a slightest difficulty. But please tell me frankly, what are your intentions? Why are you going to see Ram? Coming with a large army, it appears as if you have come to fight with him. Bharata replied, my dear Guha, your accusations gives me great pain. I'm not here to fight with Lord Ram. Please believe me when I say that I've come to just to persuade Ram to return back to Ayodhya so he can rule the kingdom, so he can be installed on the throne as immediately as possible. This is what my intentions are. Please don't pain my heart by saying such evil words like, are you planning to kill Lord Ram? If you ask me all that questions, my heart will be feeling, I will not like it. Sometimes when somebody says something that is not true, it pains us so much, right? Oh, if I'm asking somebody, okay, are you listening the class? You're not at all listening the class. You're not paying attention to the class. You seem to be, your mind is wandering somewhere. When in fact, the person is listening to the class. How will that person feel? He will feel hurt, right? He will feel bad. Oh my God, whatever Mataji is saying is not true. I am really concentrating. I'm putting all my efforts to focus my mind on the subject of Ramayana. It is about Lord Ram, and she's telling beautifully, or whatever is being narrated here is very, very beautiful. So I'm paying complete attention to the story. And when I'm doing false accusation, that person will feel bad. Likewise, Bharata here was asked by Guha, are you intending to take this army to fight with Lord Ram? Is that your intention? Is it what you have come here for? I'll guide you to Bharadwaja's ashrama. It is not a problem at all. But please tell me, what is your intention in your mind so that I can gauge the intention of you? And then again, Bharata treated Guha very, very respectfully and gave him all those necessary things in the form of respect because he was a friend of Lord Ram. Okay, it is very important how we treat the relatives who come to our home, or even the devotees who come to our home, or anybody for that matter who comes to our home. We should give them a warm smile. We should talk to them. We should ask them how they are doing. And whenever we are going out somewhere, we should tell them bye, or see you sometime later. I will be back soon. So like that, we should always have these conversations with the people who have come to our house. Okay, then only we feel, then only they will feel good about coming to your house. If nobody is talking and each one is doing their own stuff, what will they feel, right? The relatives who have come to their house, they will feel like, oh, this person, he doesn't even talk to us. Why should we come? And why should we hang out with him? I mean, it doesn't make sense at all. Like that, they will think, okay? So we should always be at our best behavior and take care of the relatives, devotees who come to our home in a very, very careful way. That is another point. Okay, and then the night had fallen already. Everyone was prepared to take rest. Guha approached Bharata as he laid upon his bed and told him, when Rama came here with Sita and Lakshmana, he laid upon a bed that were made from dried leaves. As Rama and Sita slept, Lakshmana and I stayed awake all night talking. Lakshmana could not bear to accept any comfort as long as Ram was laying on the bare ground. The next morning, Rama and Lakshmana mated their hair with the sticky extract of banyan tree and crossed the Ganga. Hearing that Ram has mated his hair, Bharata became very, very aggrieved. He feared that his elder brother would not be willing to come to Ayodhya. Overwhelmed with apprehension, Bharata suddenly fainted. Oh my God, can you believe what had happened here? So we are saying, Guha is actually saying about what had happened during the time when Rama and Sita had come here. Okay, what did they do? They slept bare in the dried leaves. They just slept on the bare ground. And Lakshmana and Guha, they did not sleep the whole night. And what were they doing? They were guarding. They were guarding Lord Ram. Okay, they were guarding Lord Ram and they were protecting Rama and Sita so that they are not affected by any kind of demons or animals or whatever. Okay, so this is what they were doing. See the service attitude of Lakshmana and Guha. And also, we should understand how renounced Ram was. He was sleeping on the bare ground. There was nothing at all. After that, what had happened? Guha is saying he has mated his hair, meaning he has tied his hair. That means that is itself is a sign of renouncing. Okay, so now Bharata is kind of feeling bad. Oh my God, if he is going to have a mated hair, that means he has plans of staying in the forest for a long time, and he's not going to come back to Ayodhya and be crowned as a king. He will say, no, I'm not interested. I have to fulfill the vow. He may say like that. So Bharata is now concerned about that. And hearing this, he actually felt his heart was faint. And this shows the true affection of Bharata for Rama. He wanted, really, genuinely he wanted. Sometimes we may just fake our actions, right? I'll just do it. I'll do this, whatever you say, just to convince whoever is asking you to do that thing, you may just convincingly say to that person, I will do it. When in fact, your heart, you're not completely with it. Certain situations can happen. Say, for example, on Ekadesi, you may actually want to eat something, but you're not totally convinced in your heart that you want to eat just the prasad, right? You may want to eat something more than that. And so when such an attitude is there, somehow it will be revealed. When you are put through such a situation where there are tempting feasts, where there are gulab jamuns, where there are rasagullas or something like that, you may be tempted to eat when you are put into such a situation, when your heart is not fully convinced. But here, in the case of Bharata, his heart was fully convinced that Ram should become the king, no matter what. He was not making a fake show of going to the forest to convince him. He really wanted to convince Ram and bring him from the forest and crown him as the king of Ayodhya. So that is another learning lesson. Overwhelmed, what happened? Overwhelmed, so now he fainted, okay. Overwhelmed with apprehension, Bharata suddenly fainted. Kausalya, who was very nearby, came to him to aid. Kausalya was there, she came with an aid and she happened to take care of him. It was only after 1 hour that Bharata regained consciousness. After how long? 1 hour. When he saw this anxious stepmother, he assured her that his fainting was not caused by hearing anything untoward about Lord Ram. So at Bharata's urging, Guha continued to describe everything Ram had done on his way to the forest. Guha then led Bharata, Shatrughna and their mothers to where Rama and Sita had slept. He showed them the kusha grass that remained crushed by the weight of their bodies. Everyone was very sorry to see this, for they remembered how Ram used to sleep very comfortably in the palace, surrounded by royal opulence. So now Guha is taking them and showing the place. Okay, this is where Ram and Sita happened to sleep and see the kusha grass. It actually is crushed because of the weight of Ram and Sita sleeping. Because of it, it got crushed even. Look at that. And then when they happened to witness this, Kaushalya, Sumitra, and Bharata and Kaikeyi, they happened to witness this. They felt, okay, see how Ram used to sleep nicely, filled with opulence in a nice bed. Comfortably he used to sleep. And here he slept on the bare ground, that too on the kusha grass. Oh my God, looking at that, their heart was pained. And then what happened? Bharata was especially pained, for he considered himself to be the cause of Sita, Rama and Lakshmana's suffering. Bharata, he condemned himself and decided to immediately make his hair matted and lie down upon the ground, and thus taking Ram's place in exile. So what did he do? What did Bharata do here? He matted his hair and he laid down upon the ground, thus taking Ram's place in exile. He condemned himself. Yeah?
If Bharata is taking Rama's place, where is Rama?
No, they are going to go and meet Lord Ram. They are in between.
So they're going into the forest?
Yeah, they are in Guha's place. Now they have to cross the Ganges and go and enter into the forest.
Are they going with Guha?
Yeah, Guha is going to actually help them out to go to Bharadwaja Rishi's ashram, that is crossing Ganga. Okay, now why Bharata is doing it is because he wants to actually become renunciate so that Ram can go back to the forest, I mean to the Ayodhya. He wants to stay in the forest and he want to make Ram go to the Ayodhya kingdom to become the king. Okay. Are you able to get it, Varun? Haribol?
Yes, Mataji.
The next morning, adorned with matted hair and tree bark dress, Bharata requested Guha to assist him in crossing Ganga. See, he's asking assistance. Thereafter, the entire army of men and horses were taken across the boats while the elephants swam the river. After safely reaching to the other side, Bharata disembarked and with Guha's residence proceeded for the ashram of Bharadwaja. When Bharata drew near the Rishi's hermitage, he left his army waiting at a distance of 2 miles and proceeded on foot with Vashishta and Shatrughna. When Bharadwaja Rishi saw Vashishta entering his ashram, he quickly rose upon to greet him. He proceeded to ask for the welfare of Ayodhya, wanting to know Bharata's true intentions. Everybody is wanting to know what Bharata's intentions are. And the Rishi said, "Oh Prince, please tell me what brings you to the forest. I pray you have not come with any intention of harming Ram." Everybody, including Rishi, Bharadwaja Rishi, is concerned that Ram is not harmed. Okay, immediately is asking, what about the welfare of people of Ayodhya? Are they all good? Are they doing well? And why have you come here? What are your intentions? I hope your intentions are not to harm Rama. This is what is the first statement, okay, that everybody makes. Because when you see huge army and when you see a lot of elephants, charioteers, citizens coming, so many people are there, what will you feel? How will you feel? Especially when you are so affectionate to a person like Lord Ram, we will be so concerned that no harm should come to him, right? And that is why here Rishi is also asking the same question. I hope your intention is not to harm Ram. When Bharata drew near the Rishi's hermitage, he felt his army is waiting at a distance. He put the army 2 miles away. That is also there. Bharata was extremely hurt by Rishi's words. With tears in his eyes, he replied, "It is painful to see how people actually doubt my intentions. Every place he goes, he is being doubted. Can you believe? When he is having very good intentions of wanting to make Ram the king, but everybody is doubting him, saying, are your intentions okay? Are you not going to harm Ram? How will you feel? You'll be pained, right? If you're put through such a situation where everybody is doubting you when you're actually doing a good job. How will you feel? You will feel really bad. And that is how bad Bharata also felt. It is painful to see how people doubt my intentions. Please know that I have come to the forest only to try to convince Ram to return to Ayodhya so that he can rule the kingdom. This is what is my intention. O foremost of sages, please be gracious to me and show me where Lord Ram is staying. Please show me. Tell me where he is staying. Bharata then took his mothers and approached Bharadwaja, asking him the directions to Chitrakuta. Remember, Krishna, we saw how Ram actually went from Guha's place to Bharadwaja Rishi's ashram and then Bharadwaja Rishi's ashram to Chitrakuta. So now Bharata is going through the same route, right? Are you able to understand that? Remember, Ram happened to actually stall in certain places and then happened to go and stay wherever he wanted to stay, right? Nihal, I think we should be careful of what you're displaying, Nihal. It is very, very disturbing because there are so many things that come in your background and it's kind of disturbing. Again, people are trying to concentrate here, so let's not disturb anybody, okay? And what happened after that? So now Rama is actually following the same route as Bharata is actually following the same route as Rama. First Guha, then Chitrakuta, and then what was the place? sorry, so Guha, then Bharadwaja Ashrama, and then Chitrakuta. Same route Bharata is also following. Okay, I'll ask this question. What is the route that Rama followed and what was the route Bharata also followed and how did he get there? Okay. So Bharadwaja is now telling Bharata. What is he saying, Bharata? You should not consider.
Mataji, what was the question? What was the question?
So what was the route that Rama took to enter into the forest? He actually went to Guha's place. From Guha's place, he went to Bharadwaja Rishi's ashrama. And from Bharadwaja Rishi's ashrama, he went to Chitrakuta. Like that, even Bharata is going to go to the same route, go through the same route. So now what happened after that? Bharata then took his mothers and approached Bharadwaja Rishi, asking him for directions to Chitrakuta. Bharadwaja saw that one woman of the party appeared emaciated with grief. Just then, another woman clasped his feet to offer respects, while the third stood with her head hung in shame. Seeing this concern, Bharata explained, "This is Kausalya, senior woman of my father, a senior wife of my father. This is Sumitra, mother of Lakshmana, and this is Shatrughna. And the other woman who is feeling ashamed of what she has done is my mother. And she is a very cruel lady, and she's sinful because she has sent Ram to the forest. And her name is Kaikeyi. Being the cause of Ram's exile, she is the cause of our present miseries also." See, that's how he introduced Kaikeyi. Can you imagine what Kaikeyi is also going through? So when somebody makes a mistake and they happen to regret for it, but the problem is not yet solved, so they are continuously being tormented because of that particular action. So that is why we should never think bad for others. We should never do bad things for others, because that will come upon us. That reaction for what we did to others will come to us. So we should be very, very careful not to harm anybody. Okay, give respect and treat everyone with respect, but not harm anybody with our heart and intentions. Bharadwaja then told Bharata, "You should not consider your mother to actually feel guilty. There is a higher purpose behind Ram's banishment to the forest. Thus, it is meant for the welfare and happiness of all living entities." Don't actually say your mom is guilty of this, because there is a higher plan, there is a higher purpose. Ram is here, banished to the forest, because that is good for the welfare of everybody. Rishi is able to see, right? He's able to see with his Jnana Chakshu what is in store. And thereafter, Bharata circumambulated Bharadwaja Rishi and commanded his army to depart. As the regiments of infantry, horses, chariots, elephants marched forward, all the animals fled out of fear from the forest. Finally, when the Chitrakuta was in view, Bharata commanded his centurions to look for Ram's cottage. Some soldiers then saw a column of smoke rising from the distance and excitedly informed Bharata. After ordering the army to set up a camp, Bharata approached the cottage of Ram and on foot along with Vashishta, Sumantra, and several others. Having resided at Chitrakuta for...
Question and answer.
Yeah, we will do it after 5 minutes, okay? Very good point, Varun. Yeah, we will do it after 5 minutes or so. So now can you understand? Ram has landed to Chitrakuta. Okay, very important now. So how many months Ram has stayed in this forest in Chitrakuta in his cottage? For 3 months. This is another question. And Ram was passing his time.
For 3 months he's been in exile?
Yeah, 3 months he's staying. Yeah, he's been in exile. I mean, the thing is, I'm not sure how many months he's been in exile, at least 3 months in Chitrakuta. But before that, he was with Guha, he was in Bharadwaja Rishi's ashrama, he traveled a few, I don't know exactly how long he's been here, but here, at least in Chitrakuta, he's here for 3 months. Okay?
Okay.
And now now Bharata is going to go and meet who? Lord Ram, along with who? Vashishta and Sumantra and others. Okay? So now it's a very important point. Rama was passing his time with Sita sitting on a big rock at the foot of the hill. Rama was describing to Sita the various roots that the rishis ate and pointed out the varieties of trees and flowers and wild animals that abounded there. Rama always tried his best to please Sita and divert her mind from the grief of living in exile. So as a husband, he was as a husband, he has to take care of his wife, right? And he was protecting her emotionally too, because being a queen of Mithila, she was used to royal opulence also. And coming to this place in the forest and living a life with Ram is not easy for Sita. And he wants to divert Sita, not thinking about living a life, not having her think about her life in the forest, but he wants to give her some solace by talking about some other topics. That's why he's talking about, okay, what did the rishis eat? So what did they do and all of that. While speaking to Sita, Ram pointed to the river Mandakini adorned with beautiful flowers, which served as a sporting ground for swains, cranes, and other exotic birds. Oh dear one, Rama said. Truly, oh dear one, Rama said, there is no reason for us to be aggrieved, for we are residing together in this lovely place. So he's showing river Mandakini. See, look at that place. It's so beautiful. It is having these beautiful flowers, and it's serving as a ground for all the cranes, cranes, swans, and other exotic birds. Look at that. So we should not be aggrieved of the forest, the fact that we are actually living in a forest. Instead, we should actually feel happy about residing together, because we are together. Remember, we are together as husband and wife in this lovely place. So we have to be happy and cherish that fact. See how in distress, in the situations like this, he is feeling very happy and satisfied. This is Rama, right? He is always satisfied with whatever circumstance he is put through. It doesn't matter, okay, no, he has to sleep on the bare ground, eat roots and vegetables. See, we have to think about this point, right? During Ekadesis, we are being asked to eat such restrictive foods. And that one day we are having so much trouble to control our senses. But imagine Lord Ram, he is eating this roots and fruits and vegetables and surviving in this alone. For how many years? 14 years. However long he was banished in the forest, he ate only this. He is used to eating a 10-course meal or 12-course meal or 30-course meal. Who knows? Because he's the Lord. He has so many varieties of food, but he's not doing that. He is able to control his senses and is not being controlled by our senses. When we are controlled by our senses, whatever our senses do, oh, I want to eat this, you will immediately eat it. If we are not having controlled senses. So we should actually bring our senses in control rather than being controlled by them. This is another question I will ask you. Why we should do it? Okay. Are you able to get that point? If not, I'll tell you that concept again. Are you able to understand?
We understand.
Okay. How you have to be controlled by the senses, and the senses should not be controlled. And you should give an example. Yeah, 2 more minutes, dear. Okay. Okay. At this time, Rama, okay, what happened after that? At this time, Rama noticed the dust being raised by Bharata's army coming in a very far distance. Sometimes because of the chariots, they bring a lot of dust like this, right? The dust and the smoke come when somebody is at a very high distance. And he was able to feel that. Soon Rama could hear noises of wild animals because they were fleeing in fear. Whenever chariots and people come, the wild animals, they run out in fear. And so he could hear the cries of the animals also. At this time, Ram returned to Lakshmana and said, whatever is raising the dust is frightening the forest animals. Find out at once what is causing the disturbance. He is ordering Lakshmana to go and find out what is it. Go and see at once. I want to know what is the reason for why animals are flooding in fear, and what is the reason for the noise? Why is the dust appearing in the ground? All that I want to know. So next week, we will see what happened. What did Lakshmana do to them? Because again, Lakshmana will also have this intention. Okay, these people are going to come and attack Lord Ram, right? He may have that intention like everybody else did. So we need to find out what is going to happen in the next class. What did Lakshmana do? How did he react? What did Bharata do to Lord Ram? Did Lord Ram go away from the forest and become the king of Ayodhya? And did Bharata stay in the forest? All this is going to come in next week. So it's an exciting week next week. Are you all excited about it? To hear Krishna Katha, it should be an excitement. Are you? I hear thumbs up from Kesha. Good. Manhar also. Anybody else? Show thumbs up if you're all looking forward to hearing next class. Yes or no? Okay, Shiva is saying yes. Good job, Shiva. Okay. Aditya is saying yes. Varun is saying yes. Good. Mihika is saying yes. Yes. Good job. So now is the question and answer time. Please raise your hands to be called in for question and answers. Okay. This is the most exciting part for all of us, because we need to understand how much we have listened in the class, right? Krishna Katha, Rama Katha, we need to listen. And Krishna will be so pleased if you are listening very, very attentively. Okay. The first question about sense gratification, right? That was the last question that I told you. What is uncontrolled sense means? What is controlled senses means? Give me an example. Okay, this is the question. Who wants to say this? Okay, I have some raised hands. I'm going to call out now. What is uncontrolled senses and what is controlled senses? Give me an example to substantiate the uncontrolled senses as opposed to controlled senses. Aditya.
So Mataji, controlled senses is where you're controlling like what you eat, what you do, and what you like use your senses for. And an example, and uncontrolled senses is where you're eating whatever you want all the time, eating too much, doing too much stuff. And then an example is Ekadeshi. When you're controlled, you have to eat only like these types of food. And then if you're like, oh, I'm going to eat this, and
so the point is that very good job. The point is you're being controlled by the senses means uncontrolled senses. Your senses are controlling them. Whatever senses say, the tongue is asking, I need to eat gulab jamun. I need to eat vada. I need to eat maybe chapati roll, paneer roll, whatever. The tongue is asking for that. And you are controlled by the sense organ, tongue. It is asking for taste, right? Are you able to get it? And then you're following the orders of the tongue. Yes, I will eat it, like that. But when you're controlling the senses, it means you listen to me, tongue. Today is Ekadasi. I'm not going to eat anything. You please keep quiet. Tomorrow you will be fed whatever you want. You're telling the senses, you're telling the tongue specifically, which is craving for dessert items or it is craving for non-Ekadasi prasad, right? You're telling the tongue, you're giving direct instruction to the tongue and saying, I'm not going to eat anything non-grain today. Okay? Tomorrow you will have what you want. So please just don't disturb me. Like that you tell. That is controlled senses. Are you able to understand? The tongue controlling you versus you controlling the tongue. Okay?
Yes, Mataji.
Wonderful example. Ekadasi is a great example to actually substantiate that. And we should always have controlled senses. Okay? That is the most important point. Okay, next question goes to Manhar. Manhar.
After Manhar. Can I go after Manhar?
Okay, after Manhar. Yes. Okay, Manhar. Can you tell me some of the decorations that actually was done to the pathway while Bharata's thing? I mean, when Bharata?
Where's Varun? Can go win a try?
No, Manhar is trying this, dear. Manhar, go ahead.
So so they made like camp so like they can rest when like they like are tired. That's the only one I remember.
Yeah, dams. Remember dams? The dams were constructed, artificial lakes were there, and then sandalwood was sprinkled all over, right? For smelling, beautiful smell, I mean, all that. Dams were constructed, and then, as you said, tents were placed on the pathway.
Trees. Can I have flower trees?
Yeah, flower trees were kept in between so that it looks pretty on the pathway when they were going. So nice, Manhar. Thank you so much. And next question to Varun. Can you tell me something about what happened at Guha's place?
So, Bharata, they were going with the Guha, and then after that, I forgot to say his name. What was his name?
Bharadwaj. No, but what happened at Guha's place? What happened? What was the conversation that happened with Guha? And what did Guha elaborate to Bharata, which actually made him feel bad? He started to remind Bharata. He started to remind Bharata about so many things when Ram happened to stay there and during that time, right? What did he say? So when Bharata happened to stay, okay, I'm going to ask somebody else. Mihika, can you elaborate?
Govinda, I didn't have the chance.
After Mihika, I'm going to ask you, dear. Next question.
So the question was that what happened at Gua's place?
Uh-huh.
So the first was that Guha, he was surprised kind of, and mostly if you were going to see that with an army of like 9,000 elephants and like a lot of people and all, you would think that Bharata and his army is basically coming to fight. So he asked his intention, Bharata's intention, that have you come to harm Rama or kill him? So by those words, Bharata became very painful. He got in very pain and he fainted.
Mm.
Then Kaushalya came in aid, and she like helped Bharata, and he regained consciousness in 1 hour. So when it turned night, everyone went in their like beds in their tents, and Gua, he explained like what Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana did at his place, which was that Rama and Sita, they slept on these dry leaves bed, and Lakshmana and Gua, they both stayed awake and were talking. And what Lakshmana said was that he could not bear the step, like he could not bear that, and like to take rest and be comforted, because he has to take care of Lord Rama, and that's his duty. So he's not gonna rest, and he doesn't feel so happy because, like,
wonderful.
He doesn't feel happy, and then Gua just showed the place where the kusha grass was.
Wonderful. There. So many things you narrated on the floor. Oh my God. That was brilliant attention to details, and absolutely. So what happened there in Guha's ashrama, as Mihika said, first what happened? Guha, just looking at the army, he asked Bharata, what is the intention of you coming? Are you coming here to hurt Ram? Then obviously, just hearing the statement of him hurting Ram, he felt pained because that was not his intention. He clarified his intention.
He doesn't like that.
Okay, Govinda.
Okay, what is the next question?
Govinda, your question is, what happened? What did Guha actually tell about Lord Ram? Lord Ram, in the sense, did he talk to him about, first he showed everybody the place where he slept and what happened there. Can you tell me?
And when Goa showed them where Rama and Sita slept, all the Ayodhya citizens was fainted, and then what happened? Then Bharata said, where is the Rishi's ashram? And then Goha shows where the Rishi ashram, and the Rishi, I forgot the Rishi's name. Bharadwaja, he saw you have a big army, and he's thinking you
No, that is the next question. Bharadwaja's ashrama, what happened there? Shiva, do you want to say?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So what is the question?
Bharadwaja's ashrama, what happened? What did Bharadwaja Rishi talk to Bharata about?
Are you there to harm Rama?
Bharadwaja Rishi, what did he talk to Bharata? Bharata, what did he say? He also asked intention, right? What is your intention, Bharata?
Can
Why?
I answer?
Okay,
Can I
Varun, go ahead.
So he's like, why are you here? Why do you have all this stuff?
Hmm.
Are you going to kill Rama? And then he kept like he's asking questions like what are you going to do? Is your army here to harm Rama? And then Bharata, he's not going to harm anybody. He's going there so he can like save Rama. He wants to talk to Rama, but say Bharadwaja is thinking that Bharata has all this like army, all these like soldiers. He thinks he has it there because he's going to kill and hurt Rama.
Correct. And then what did he say? What did he guide Bharata finally to go to?
He told Bharata like how to get to Rama and like what.
Where did Bharata go from there? What was the place called? Chitrakuta.
Chitrakuta, and he spent 3 months in Chitrakuta.
Rama actually happened to be in that cottage for 3 months in Chitrakuta. How should one dress when one actually goes? Shiva, do you know this answer? How should one dress when we go to temple? Why?
We have to dress so good because the Lord will bless.
Wonderful. When your parents are asking you to dress nicely, wear nice clothes to the temple and not torn clothes, you should immediately say because because who's going to see you?
Krishna.
Krishna is going to see you. That is why we wear our tilak, we wear our, always make sure you have your kantimala on because...
I do have a kantimala.
Yeah, always make sure you have the kantimala on, tilak, and, whatever then, your parents say, nice dress. So Krishna is going to see you. So we should be very, very nicely dressed. Remember the gopis, they are dressing so nicely for giving pleasure to Krishna. Okay. So we should also dress nicely. Here we saw that who were all dressed nicely. Gopis from
Vrindavan?
No, the gopis of Vrindavan, okay. But here they were all going to see the Lord. So they were all nicely dressed and they happened to go and see Lord Ram and get the darshan of Lord Ram. And service to Lord Ram is even greater than getting the darshan of Lord Ram, right? Service is very important. We spoke about that concept. Does anybody remember why service is important? Aditya?
Service is important. Like, you just have to please Krishna. That's the main thing.
Yeah. So because, see, darshan, what happens? Sometimes people, they have to have their eyes anointed with love, right? Ravana was there. His eyes was not anointed with love. So he was not able to see even though he was able to get the darshan of Lord Ram, he could not appreciate it, right? And how should we serve? What should be the mood of service?
Like a servant attitude.
Servant attitude. But one important point that I mentioned is we should serve in such a way that Lord should look at our service and he should be eager to see us. Okay? Can you repeat?
Like the Lord has to be eager to see us.
Yes, the Lord, we should perform our service such a way. Okay, say for example, if you're good at singing or if you're good at playing some instruments, we should do our service as an offering to the Lord and perform that service in such a way, the Lord is so pleased. Oh, this person, Aditya, Varun, Nihal, Nirvan, Yash, Akshara, they are performing the service so nicely that the Lord will want to see them. Okay, that is another important point. Okay, and then who else did I miss? Does anybody else want to say, apart from, I think raised hands are all covered now. Nirvan, do you want to say? Yash? Do you want to say any of you? Nirvan or Yash? I think Yash, you can answer. Who was awake the whole night for Lord Ram and Sita? This is the question. Nirvan, you want to answer? Or Yash? Akshara?
Can Manhar answer?
No, dear, let's give opportunity. No, let's give Keshav. Does somebody want to answer this question? It's an easy question. Who was awake during Ram and Sita's Vanavas or forest?
I can answer it.
Who? Okay, Yash, go ahead.
Lakshmi was awake.
Lakshmana. Wonderful. Great job, Yash. Akshara, do you want to answer this question?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right. Nihal, do you want to answer? Or Nirvan? Okay. Keshava? Okay. I don't hear from them. Akshara? Okay, no. All right. So we are going to adjourn today's class and we are going to convene next week. Next week is an exciting week because we have so many good things to come up, right? It is.
What happened? I know what happened when.
No, don't tell the suspense to anybody.
I will not tell. I will not tell.
Yeah, you should not tell. You should. You know it, but you're not telling.
I know what happened also, but I'm not telling.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it.
Yes, I'm also looking forward. So let's check it out tomorrow. I mean, next week. Not tomorrow. I wish it was tomorrow, but you have to wait another week to get this going. Okay? Let's do that. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Ramayan ki jai.